Are you afraid of death? For many, it's a quiet fear that never really fades away. But what if I told you that this fear doesn't have to stay with you forever? In this video, we're diving deep into what spirituality has to offer. A liberating vision, a profound peace that transforms even the fear of death into acceptance and freedom. Get ready to understand what truly spiritual souls have already discovered. How to live without fear, to release the chains that hold us back, and to experience life in its fullness. Want to know how to reach this lightness and live with purpose? Stay until the end, because this journey could change the way you see life and what comes after it. Spiritual awakening isn't a sudden event. It's more like a gradual unfolding, a transformation that begins quietly as we start to question the things we once held as true. Patterns and routines that used to feel comfortable start to shift, and suddenly they don't hold the same meaning. This process can feel strange, but it's the start of something incredible. Imagine it as a journey of shedding old layers that no longer serve us. As we awaken, we begin to see beyond the surface, realizing that there's more to life than what we can see or touch. For many, this awakening opens a path to discovering their truest self. A self that is free from the expectations of others, from fears that limit them, and from the need to control everything around them. But remember, this awakening doesn't happen all at once. It's a process, and each step brings us closer to living a life that aligns with our soul's purpose. And that's exactly what we're here to explore. Now, if spiritual awakening is the beginning of this journey, what exactly do we let go of along the way? Let's dive into that next. Death. It's a word that often stirs a deep, quiet fear, a fear that many carry without realizing its weight. But what if I told you that this fear of death is actually a limitation of the ego, the part of us that clings to control and security in the physical world? Spirituality offers us a different perspective, that death is not an ending, but a natural transition, part of a larger cycle, and that the true essence of who we are goes far beyond the physical body. When we start to see death as a doorway rather than a dead end, our entire view of life begins to shift. We start to live more fully, appreciating each moment without the fear of an invisible deadline. Instead of dreading the unknown, we become open to it, knowing that life's greatest mysteries are often what make it so profound. To illustrate, consider those who have faced death and come back with a renewed sense of purpose. A sense that there's more beyond what we understand. Their stories give us a glimpse into this larger reality and invite us to live with a deeper sense of trust. So, as we continue this journey, what are the things we can let go of to reach this sense of peace? Let's look at the 6 things highly spiritual souls gradually release, each one freeing them to live more fully and fearlessly. External validation. One of the first things spiritual souls let go of is the need for external validation. In a world where we're constantly seeking approval through likes, comments, and followers, it's easy to tie our worth to others' opinions. But when you start awakening spiritually, you realize that true validation comes from within. You no longer need to be understood or accepted by everyone, finding peace in your own self-worth instead. Imagine how freeing it would feel to stop chasing acceptance and embrace who you truly are. Attachment to material possessions. The second thing they release is attachment to material things. Society often equates success with possessions, money, cars, houses. But highly spiritual souls see these things as fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. They realize that true richness comes from within, from the depth of one's connections and the joy cultivated inside. This doesn't mean rejecting material things altogether, but rather detaching from the idea that they define you. The need for control. Letting go of control is another major step. We're often taught to believe that controlling every aspect of life ensures happiness, but that belief is rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of chaos. Spiritual awakening reveals that control is, in many ways, an illusion. Instead of resisting the natural flow, spiritual souls learn to trust the process, to set intentions, act with purpose, and let go of the outcome. Toxic relationships. As awareness deepens, spiritual souls start to reevaluate their relationships. They let go of connections that drain their energy or keep them stuck in negative patterns. This is often difficult, as it means distancing from people they may care about. But in doing so, they make space for connections that are uplifting and aligned with their values. Compromising authenticity. Spiritual awakening brings a powerful commitment to authenticity. Instead of playing roles to please others, spiritual souls begin to express their true selves, quirks, flaws, and all. They no longer feel the need to hide or diminish who they are. Embracing authenticity brings freedom and attracts people who resonate with their true self. The fear of death. Finally, they let go of the fear of death. This is perhaps the most profound release. Spiritual souls come to see death as a transition, not an end, understanding that the soul transcends the physical body. This realization allows them to live in the present moment, embracing the beauty and impermanence of life without fear of what lies beyond. Each of these 6 steps brings us closer to a life filled with peace, joy, and freedom. But what are the real, everyday benefits of living this way? Let's explore the gifts of overcoming fear and living from the soul in our next chapter. Letting go of the fear of death has powerful benefits that ripple through every part of life. Imagine waking up each day without that looming sense of finality, without feeling weighed down by the uncertainty of what lies ahead. When we release this fear, we open ourselves up to live fully in the present. Each moment becomes precious, each interaction more meaningful. One of the most profound benefits of overcoming this fear is the deep sense of inner peace it brings. Spiritual souls who transcend the fear of death describe a newfound lightness, as if they've unlocked a hidden freedom. They no longer feel the need to fill their lives with distractions or chase external achievements for validation. Instead, they embrace life's simplicity, finding joy in the here and now. Imagine someone who has let go of this fear. Perhaps they live with an open heart, without worrying about what tomorrow might bring. They trust in the natural flow of life, understanding that they're part of something much larger, something eternal. This perspective brings a renewed purpose, empowering them to focus on what truly matters: love, connection, and the pursuit of wisdom. But how can you begin this journey of transformation? In the next chapter, we'll look at practical steps you can take to release fear and open yourself to a life of true freedom. Starting a journey of spiritual transformation may sound challenging, but it often begins with small, simple steps. These actions might seem ordinary, yet they have the power to create profound shifts over time. The first step is meditation. Just a few minutes each day can help quiet the mind, reduce stress, and open a space for inner peace. Meditation is like training your mind to let go, even if just for a few moments, and to trust in the present. Another powerful practice is gratitude. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you begin to see the beauty in your everyday life. This practice of appreciation naturally shifts your focus away from fear and scarcity, grounding you in what truly matters. Try keeping a gratitude journal and jotting down a few things you're thankful for each day. It's a small act that can lead to big changes. Finally, simplify your environment. By decluttering your physical space, you create a calm atmosphere that encourages inner peace. This doesn't mean throwing away everything you own, but letting go of things that no longer serve you. In doing so, you'll find it easier to let go of mental and emotional clutter too. As you take these steps, you'll notice how each one brings you closer to living with less fear and more freedom. But transformation is also about reflection. In the next chapter, we'll pause to explore some questions to deepen your understanding of what this journey means for you personally. Transformation isn't just about learning new concepts, it's about understanding how they resonate with you on a personal level. So, let's take a moment to pause and reflect. What fears or attachments are you ready to release? Are there patterns, relationships, or possessions that you're holding on to, even though they no longer serve you? Think about your own journey. What are the small things weighing you down, and what would it feel like to let them go? Visualize a life where you're free from fear, where each day is lived fully, without worry about what lies ahead. This is your opportunity to ask yourself, what would living a life of complete freedom and peace look like for me? By answering these questions honestly, you're taking another step closer to a deeper sense of purpose and inner peace. In our final chapter, we'll recap everything we've explored and talk about how you can keep this momentum going in your own life. Let's look at the key takeaways from this journey and the incredible potential that lies ahead. Throughout this journey, we've explored how spirituality can help us transcend one of humanity's greatest fears, the fear of death. By understanding spiritual awakening and letting go of attachments, control, and external validation, we open ourselves to a life of profound peace and purpose. Imagine the freedom of living authentically, driven not by fear, but by love and a connection to something greater. Remember, this journey is uniquely yours. Each small step, whether through meditation, gratitude, or decluttering, brings you closer to living a life in harmony with your true self. These changes won't happen overnight, and that's okay. Embrace your own pace, honoring the path that feels right for you. As you move forward, remember that the pursuit of inner peace is a lifelong journey. You're not alone on this path. If today's video resonated with you, consider joining our community by subscribing and share your thoughts in the comments below. We're all here to support each other in awakening to our highest potential. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. Here's to a life filled with peace, freedom, and purpose.